Did I ever imagine I'd end up like this? A 50-year-old woman sneaking around with a man half my age like some desperate teenager? No. But here I am, Nadira, daughter of Sheikh Khalid bin Rahman, wife of oil tycoon Hassan al-Assal, and apparently the kind of woman who lets a delivery boy make her forget everything she was raised to be. Not just any delivery boy. Adam. You see, when you spend 30 years in a dead marriage, you learn to appreciate small joys, like a man who actually looks at you. Not through you. Not like you are just another expensive vase in a house full of useless, gilded things. Let me pause a little bit. Please subscribe to my channel. If you have subscribed, I say thank you. Now let me continue. I still remember the first time he came to the house. He wasn't even supposed to be our regular guy. Some new hire at the delivery service, stepping in for an older man who had fallen sick. He walked in like he belonged. Not nervous, not deferential. Just confident. Madam, he said, setting down a box of fresh fruit. His eyes met mine. Dark, steady. Not afraid. I should have ignored him. I should have just nodded like I do with all the house staff. But something about the way he held my gaze made my stomach tighten. Then he smirked. Just a hint of it, barely there, but enough to set something off inside me that I'd long thought dead. That night, lying beside my husband's cold, unmoving body, I thought about that smirk. And that was my mistake. It started innocently enough. Madam, should I carry these inside for you? His voice always had a teasing edge, like he knew the effect he had on me. Like he was waiting for me to crack. I played along, pretended I was above it. Since when do delivery boys offer full service? His lips curled. That damn smirk again. The best ones do. I should have fired him. I should have. Instead, I started timing my afternoons around his deliveries, finding excuses to linger near the kitchen when he was there, letting my hands brush against his when he passed me something. It was dangerous. I knew that. Because Adam wasn't just young. He was from a lower caste. The kind my family wouldn't even allow to eat at the same table, let alone touch me the way he did that night. It was storming. The kind of Karachi storm that turns the roads into rivers and makes you feel like the sky is collapsing. Adam had just finished unloading the groceries when the lights flickered. The rain was pounding against the windows, and for some reason, I said, "You should wait inside until it calms down." Stupid. So stupid. He hesitated, just for a second, before stepping back in. Water dripped from his shirt, clinging to his chest, outlining the shape of him in ways that made my throat go dry. I handed him a towel, acting far too casual for a woman who was very much not casual. "Thanks," he murmured. Our fingers brushed. And that's when it happened, the shift. The air between us thickened. His eyes lowered to my mouth. My pulse hammered in my ears. "You should go," I whispered, but my body said something else entirely. Adam noticed. Of course he did. And instead of leaving, he stepped closer. "Do you want me to?" I didn't answer. I couldn't. Because the moment his hand skimmed my waist, I stopped thinking altogether. And when he kissed me, I let him. I wanted him to. God help me, I wanted everything. I should have pushed him away. I should have. But when Adam's mouth crushed against mine, all the rules, all the years of suffocating self-control, went straight to hell. He kissed me like he had been waiting forever. Like he had imagined it 1,000 times and wasn't about to waste another second. And I let him. No, I kissed him back. His hands, rough from hard labor, held my face like I was something precious, like I wasn't just a rich man's neglected wife, like I was something more than silk dresses and suffocating expectations. I forgot everything. The house. My husband. The 30 years I had spent playing a role I never wanted. It was just me and Adam. His heat, his breath, his hands pulling me closer until there was nothing left between us. I moaned into his mouth when his fingers skimmed my back, my waist, lower. He swallowed the sound like it was something he had been starving for. You taste expensive, he murmured against my lips, his voice thick with hunger. Like you were never meant to belong to someone like me. I gasped, my nails digging into his shoulders. And yet, here we are. A storm raged outside, but the real storm was inside me. And then, footsteps. I shoved him away just as the housemaid's voice rang from the hallway. Madam? Are you in here? Adam's eyes flashed with amusement. The bastard was grinning. Like we hadn't just nearly destroyed my entire world. I straightened my dress, ignoring the heat still buzzing under my skin. Go, I hissed under my breath. He didn't argue. Just winked. And that was the beginning of my downfall. Once you've tasted sin, you start craving it. I told myself it was a mistake, that it wouldn't happen again. But the next time Adam came over, we didn't even pretend to resist. It was fast and desperate. Him pinning me against the kitchen counter, his lips trailing down my throat. His hands everywhere, pulling, tugging, taking. I came apart in his arms like I had never known my own body before. I should have felt ashamed. But all I felt was alive. And I wanted more. So we stole moments. In the shadows of the courtyard, behind closed doors, in the back of his dusty old truck when no one was watching. I was playing with fire. And I didn't care. Until the housemaid caught us. I should have noticed her watching. She had been acting strange for days, hovering, staring, her lips pressed into a thin, disapproving line. But I was too drunk on Adam to care. Until one evening, when my husband returned from a business trip, he called me into his office. His expression was too calm. And that's when I knew I had been caught. I've been patient with you, Nadara. His voice was smooth, measured. Too measured. I said nothing. Just stood there, my pulse pounding like a war drum. Then he pulled something from his desk. A photograph. A grainy, stolen moment. Me, pressed against Adam's chest, his hand tangled in my hair. I felt the blood drain from my face. My husband leaned back in his chair, smiling like a predator. Did you really think I wouldn't find out? You know that feeling when you are watching a snake uncoil right in front of you, and you are frozen, staring into its beady little eyes, knowing it's about to strike? That was me. Except the snake was my husband, and the venom wasn't just death. It was something worse. And the thing about men like Hassan, they don't like being embarrassed. Especially not by their much younger delivery boy. I swallowed, forcing my voice to stay calm. Who gave this to you? His lips curled, slow and cruel. You already know. That bitch. I should have seen it coming. Housemaids like Nasreen were the real power in households like ours. They knew when you left, when you came home, what you whispered under your breath when you thought no one was listening. And if you crossed them, they'd eat you alive. So, Hassan tapped the picture. What should I do with this? There were only two ways this could go. I break down, cry, beg for forgiveness like a good little wife. I take my chances and get the hell out. And since I had too much dignity for option 1, I went with option 2. I exhaled. Calmly. Are you going to kill me? Hassan chuckled, but there was no warmth in it. More like the sound a hyena makes before ripping into a carcass. Oh, Nadara, he said, rising from his chair, smoothing out his sleeves like a king about to execute a traitor. You should know by now, I don't get my hands dirty. Right. That's what men like him had other people for. I turned on my heel and walked out before he could say another word. I didn't have much time. Hassan's men would be watching every exit. The house, the gates, probably even the goddamn sky in case I sprouted wings. I needed Adam. I texted him one word, now. 2 minutes later, I was slipping out the back door, my abaya flaring behind me like the wings I didn't have. And there he was, waiting, engine running, like he had known this moment was coming all along. The second I slammed the door shut, he hit the gas. We didn't speak. Not for the first hour. The city lights faded behind us, swallowed by the vast, empty stretch of the Balochistan desert. Only then did Adam glance at me, his grip tight on the wheel. So, you ruined your life for me. I snorted. Please. My life was ruined long before you showed up. He smirked, but his eyes stayed sharp, scanning the road, thinking. We'll go west, he said. I know people. You'll be safe. I should have been afraid. I should have been panicking. But all I felt was free. For the first time in 30 years, I wasn't someone's property. No more sheikh's daughter. No more rich man's neglected wife. Just Nadira. And maybe that was enough. Please like and subscribe to this channel for more stories like this. Also drop a comment to tell me what you think about this story.